I still remember the sea breeze that morning, warm, gentle, and disgustingly cheerful. The kind of air that makes everyone believe life is perfect. It was my 33rd birthday. My family had planned a surprise. That's what my sister called it, her voice laced with that polished sweetness she saves for lies. We drove to the port together. I carried my overnight bag, dressed in white, matching their theme. Family cruise to celebrate success. Success, of course, meant their success. When we reached the boarding gate, I handed my passport and waited for my ticket. My sister's lips curled. "Wait," she said, laughing. "You really thought you had one?" My parents looked away. My father's sigh was long, deliberate. My mother murmured, "It's common sense to buy your own, dear." Common sense. They walked off, dragging their expensive luggage, their laughter echoing as if my existence were the punchline. I stood there, surrounded by tourists, holding nothing but my own silence. That was the moment something inside me shifted. Not broke, not burned, crystallized. It wasn't always like this. Growing up, I was the one who cleaned their messes, the quiet child who learned to stay out of the frame so others could shine. When my father's firm almost went under, I bailed him out with my startup earnings. When my sister's boyfriend dumped her, I took her in, listened, cooked, consoled. I was the background character in their movie. Useful, invisible, replaceable. Last year, when I told them I'd bought a small tech company and planned to expand overseas, they smiled, too politely. My father said, "Let's not get ahead of ourselves." My sister joked, "You, a CEO?" They weren't joking, not really. 2 months before that cruise, I noticed something odd. My father's lawyer, the same man who helped me with contracts, stopped answering my calls. My sister suddenly knew details about my company I hadn't shared. Then came the email, accidentally forwarded. A legal draft transferring my intellectual property to a family trust managed by my father. My sister's name listed as co-owner. My signature forged. That was the night I realized they hadn't just left me out of the family, they'd been quietly erasing me from it. I didn't confront them. I didn't scream, cry, or demand answers. I simply saved the document, printed 3 copies, and smiled at breakfast the next morning. I stopped being their quiet child that day. I became their ghost, watching, collecting, preparing. I met privately with my own lawyer, someone not on my father's payroll. I transferred everything, patents, shares, accounts, all under a new holding company. My name vanished from the records, but my control didn't. When the family invited me to that birthday cruise, I knew exactly what it was. A celebration of my removal. A victory lap. Fine, I could play along. I called the cruise company a week before. My company had just signed a cybersecurity contract with their parent corporation. I requested a VIP suite upgrade for the family of the company's owner. They were delighted to accommodate. I paid for it, in full, using my company card. The suite was listed under one name, mine. I had the plaque engraved, VIP suite reserved for Mr. A. Khan. That was me, the invisible one. I didn't mention it to my family. I let them believe they had orchestrated the perfect exclusion. Then, quietly, I canceled their cabin upgrade. Economy class for them. Nothing extravagant, just enough discomfort to sting. At the port, I watched them walk away, smug, relieved, satisfied. They thought they'd humiliated me. I left before the ship departed, but not before ensuring the concierge had the revised guest list. When they boarded, the attendant greeted them with bright smiles, directed them toward their economy deck, and handed them their key cards. And then, the moment I'd been waiting for. My sister, ever the peacock, demanded to see the VIP suite. She bragged she'd booked it herself. The concierge obliged. He opened the door with a flourish, revealing the suite, golden lighting, champagne on ice, panoramic sea view. And there, gleaming on the entry plaque, was my name. Their faces, I'm told, went pale. My sister froze. My father's voice cracked when he asked the question he already knew the answer to: who booked this? The concierge smiled. Mr. A. Khan, the company's honor. The same company they'd tried to steal. They spent that entire cruise surrounded by whispers. The staff, the guests, everyone knew they weren't the VIPs. They were the imposters. I didn't need to be there to watch their fall. I'd already seen it in their reflection that morning, the moment they chose to leave me behind. By the time they returned, the family trust they'd built had dissolved. Every asset they'd moved through my name was legally frozen. And my sister's luxury apartment, bought under a company still registered in my name. She called